week we're going to talk about polo necks. This season, polo necks have gone from being something that you really wouldn't want to open on Christmas Day to being a real style statement. And that's thanks in part to Smedly, who is a very influential French brand, and they put them on the catwalk. And also Balenciaga, another great French brand, also put them on the catwalk. And to be honest, when those two labels do something like that at the same time, there's no ignoring it. Polo necks are here this season. Start with this John Smedly number. Smedly specialise in knitwear, so it's probably something they do every season and you might ignore it, but this season it's the first one on the round that you would go to. It's a classic navy blue. This would look great actually worn layered under a sleeveless coat, which is a big thing this season as well. So if you're kind of feeling a bit self-conscious about wearing a tight polo neck, then layering is an option for you. H&M have gone quite big on this trend, as have the entire high street really. This one's kind of made of a shiny fabric. I don't know if this is a particularly classy fabric, but I like the way that it gives this sort of shiny look because it's more of a statement and less of a kind of a boring woolly. And this again is something that you would definitely layer under. Maybe it would look great worn layered under a sort of quite a mannish houndstooth jacket, I think. This one from Gap, which is proof that the polo neck this season is a staple because Gap always do lots and lots of the same thing in various different colours. Sometimes it's t-shirts, sometimes it's great vests, and this season it's polo necks because they are the big thing this season. Quite soft. Again, probably one to layer because it's a fine fabric and it can be a little bit unforgiving on the tummy. This one is a proper woolly one from H&M, but it is in the shops now because obviously the high street like to put their winter things out when we're all still trying to prolong our summer glows. This one is a lovely tomatoey red colour and would really work well on an autumn colour palette, as we say in fashion. This one is by Alexander Mcqueen, so if you thought that they just did white sleeved lace dresses, you were entirely wrong. This polo neck would look very, very chic on, and it's just got a lovely nice finishing of the gold buttons down at the hem there, which really take it from being something quite standard to being something rather fabulous. This one is a rather pretty one from Vanessa Bruno. It does have a kind of quite a vintage, not vintage, retro-y feel about it, but it feels so soft, and I don't think I've never found something like this in a charity shop. I'm going to say this is Elastoplast pink, which again doesn't make it sound very glamorous, but I promise you this is going to look really chic on, particularly with a pair of navy trousers. Two things that are great about this jumper from Zara. First off, it's got a nice chunky cable knit down the front, which was, again, a huge catwalk trend. It's got a slightly more boxy shape, which again makes it look a bit more fashion forward and less granny staple. And it's got contrasting sleeves, so it's kind of cable knit on the front, and then on the back you've got a kind of just a plainer lamb's wool knit. A polo cardi, and this is an option for people who are not that fond of wearing polo necks, but they kind of like the idea of having the big funnel neck. This is the hybrid version for you from Joseph. So one styling note that I just want to tell you about this season, which some people might think is utterly bizarre, but I'm going to tell you about it, and then you've got the information, you can do with it what you will. This season, if you've got long hair, you're meant to wear your hair tucked into your polo neck, and like you haven't quite bothered to pull it out when you put it over your head, so you kind of get this sort of slight bob effect. I'm not really sure why. It was something that Phoebe Philo did herself at the end of the catwalk backstage at the Celine show, and it's something that if you really want to show that you're wearing a polo neck this season because it's hip and cool rather than it's a boring old woolly staple, then I would suggest giving it a go.